Hey babes, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time watching me, my name is Jenny, and in today's video I'm gonna be playing around with the brand new Urban Decay Wild West eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna be showing you two eyeshadow looks using the palette, including this one that I am wearing right now. Of course, I'm gonna show you swatches and just my thoughts in general about this palette, so let's just get into it. Alright babes, so today I'm so excited to be doing this video for you guys. I literally just got the brand new Urban Decay Wild West eyeshadow palette in the mail, and this was gifted to me from Urban Decay. I get it in PR so that I can review it and create looks for you guys. So I did get it in the mail today, and I just knew I had to sit down and play around with this palette. I'm gonna be showing you two looks on today's video. One is gonna be more of a neutral everyday look, and the second one, it's gonna be this one that has this beautiful teal color, and I am just obsessed. I don't want to bore you with many of the details about this palette, but of course I want to tell you that this one retails for $49, and it is 100% vegan and cruelty free, and it actually comes with 12 vegan shadows that, according to the card that they sent me, these are inspired by endless sand dunes, evergreen succulents, and glittering night skies. Definitely when I open up this palette, I just love the shades that they included in here. I'm gonna get into more details at the end once I give you my thoughts about the palette, but you definitely get your neutrals, you get cool tones, you get warm tones, and you get pop of colors. So in my opinion, you do get a lot of options with this palette. And without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the two looks. The first one is going to be a neutral everyday look, and the second one is this one. So let's go ahead and get into the eye looks. Alright, so we're going to start with look number one, and they did send me their eyeshadow primer potion in the original shade. This is what it looks like, in case you guys haven't seen it before. But I'm gonna be honest, in general, I only use concealer to prime my eyelids, but since they did send me this, I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. Why not? Just don't feel that you have to use this to prime your eyelids, of course. And I'm just gonna use my finger to blend that in. So this is the brush that came with the palette. Aesthetically, it is very beautiful because the handle is clear and you can see the naked work in it. I mean, it's beautiful, but personally, I don't necessarily like my blending brush to be this stiff. I like them to be a little bit more soft, but that's just my personal preference. And I'm gonna use it obviously because it comes with the palette, but I might switch for another brush if I feel that it's not working for me, but we'll see. For look number one, I kind of want to use the neutral tones in the palette. I want to do something simple, something that you can do for an everyday makeup. And maybe for the second look, we'll experiment with the other shades in the palette. I definitely want to use that teal color, but for now, I just want to test out the neutral shades and see how they work for me. So I'm going to start off by using the shade Nudie. It's this one right here, and it's pretty light in the pan, so we'll see if it actually shows up on my skin. So far, I mean, it does pick up a lot of pigment in the brush, but we'll see how this blends out. So I'm just gonna start placing this on the outer part of the eyelid. You see, this side of the brush is a little bit too stiff for my liking when it comes to blending, so I'm just gonna switch to this other one that I have by Morphe. This is the M433. I just like my blending brushes to be a little bit more on the fluffier, softer side. Oh yeah, this works definitely better. What a difference. So don't get me wrong, this is a good brush, but it's not necessarily my favorite when it comes to blending. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep applying that Nudie shade all over the eyelid. Alright, so Nudie, it's definitely a beautiful color, but it barely shows up on my skin tone. So if I want to add more definition, I definitely have to use a darker color. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Ghost Town, which is this one on the other side of the palette. Hopefully it blends out well. Okay, this color, it's definitely pretty. I grabbed very little because I don't want to add too much. I still want to keep this look a little bit on the softer side. Okay, Ghost Town is definitely very pigmented. I'm just adding little by little because I still want to make this look soft, but it's blending really nicely. I'm going to start adding Ghost Town on the lower lash line with this flat definer brush. Okay, I really love this color. I mean, if you like warm browns, definitely this color, it's beautiful. Then I like to go in with a small blending brush just to blend everything out so that I don't have harsh lines. I'm just gonna add a little bit more on the outer part of the lash line to intensify it a little bit. I really want to keep this look very simple, so I'm just gonna add this one last shade, and it's the gold tone in the palette. It's called Holden, and it looks beautiful. Let me go ahead and swatch it. So that's what it looks like swatch. There you go. I'm gonna go ahead and use the brush to apply it just to see how it applies with the brush, but you guys know me, I'm probably gonna end up using my finger. Okay, so that is the application of that Holden shade just with the brush. I mean, you can see it, but it's not as pigmented as I would like it to be. Let me go ahead and grab a setting spray. So I'm gonna go ahead and wet my brush and see how it works this way. Okay, it definitely applies more pigmented once I wet my brush, but it's not giving it to me, so I'm just gonna use my finger. You guys know that the best way to get the most pigment out of your shimmery shadows is using your finger, and there's no doubt about that. Okay, you see that? That is giving it to me. Definitely such a huge difference. I mean, look at that. The pigment is beautiful, but definitely I just prefer using my fingers. I don't know. But my nails are really long right now, so they are kind of getting on the way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use my finger to apply it all over the eyelid as much as I can. And then I'm just gonna switch to my brush to get into the inner corner. And I'm definitely very happy and impressed. There's barely any fallout. Hopefully you guys can see. I mean, I already had my base, foundation, concealer, bronzer, blush, everything. I think I'm only missing highlight. And I don't even have any fallout. So that is definitely a plus. Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same on the other eye. So that is the eyeshadow application completed. I'm gonna go ahead and do mascara, maybe an eyeliner, and a lipstick, and I will be right back to show you this look completed. Alright babes, so this is look number 1 completed. I went ahead and I added a brown eyeliner because I really love brown eyeliner with this kind of colors, and I did not do false lashes because I'm gonna be doing a second look after this, so there was no point, and I just did a nude lipstick to keep it more on the softer side. But this is the look. What do you guys think? Honestly, I really love the eyeshadow. If you love warm and gold tones, definitely these colors are so beautiful. At the same time, nothing new, but you know, if you love this kind of colors, I mean, the eyeshadows definitely worked out well. The 2 or 3 shadows that I use, and I definitely love this look. So let's move on to look number 2. Alright babes, so I'm back for look number 2, and I hope my makeup doesn't look that weird because I literally just removed the previous eye makeup, and I try to fix the makeup around the eyes, if you know what I mean. But it doesn't really matter because the point of this video is to test as many shadows as we can. So let's go ahead and play with some other colors, but don't hate me for this, but I'm actually gonna go back to the same shade, Nudie. I just wanna start off with this color to create a nice base for the other colors that we're gonna use. So same thing, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this all around the crease. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the same on the other eye. Excuse me if my energy levels are a little bit lower right now, and that's because you guys don't see that, but in between the other look and this second look, I actually, since I had a pretty nice makeup look previously and it was pretty neutral, I actually decided to shoot some Valentine's Day campaigns that I had for my Instagram. So I ended up shooting a couple outfits for Valentine's. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see them. I actually do post a fashion inspiration and also makeup looks on my Instagram. Alright, so now that we have that nice base going on, I'm gonna go ahead and dip into the shade Laredo right here. It kind of looks a little bit grayish on the pen, but it does have a little bit of lilac and purple tones, so I think it will look really nice once we blend it out. Yep, you see it right there, it's actually really pigmented. I just grabbed very little because, you know, every time that you use a new eyeshadow, I always grab little because it's easier to fix in the case it's too pigmented, or if you need more pigment, then you can just add more. You know what I mean? It's just the safest way to do it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start applying this. Same on the outer part of the eye, but I'm gonna start blending it out upwards on the crease. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab more of that Laredo shade on this flat brush that I was using for the other look, and I'm gonna apply it on the lower lash line. Alright, so up next, I want to add a little bit of the shade Whiskey. This one right here, and if you can tell, it's still a chocolate shade, but it's more on the cool tone, not as warm as the other one that we used previously. And by previously, I mean Ghost Town, the one that we used on look number 1. So I'm going to start by adding a little bit of this Whiskey shade on the outer part. And I'm gonna slowly start working Whiskey around this outer part of the eye and a little bit up towards the crease to about half, maybe like right there, if you know what I mean. I'm not gonna bring this dark shade too much into the front of the eyelid. Something that I will say about this shadow is that it doesn't blend out as easily as the other shades that I have used so far. It might be because there's a lot more pigment into this shadow, and you just have to be a little bit more careful when you blend it out. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and use the shade Bud, which is that beautiful teal color that I have been eyeing since I first opened up this palette. Let me go ahead and show you a quick swatch. Oh my goodness, that color is so beautiful. I'm just gonna apply it with my finger because you guys already know. I know using your finger is just gonna give you the best color payoff. And ooh, look at that. That is beautiful right there. I love, 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 love this color. I mean, I know that I already have other palettes that have a similar color like this, but this color is giving it to me. So pretty. And I'm just gonna use this tiny brush to get the shadow up into the inner corner, just because I know with my long nail I won't be able to get in there. Alright, that looks beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same onto the other eye. Alright, so this color is just so beautiful. I have to add it on the lower lash line. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this Bud shade, but I'm just gonna keep it on the front part of the lower lash line. I'm not gonna bring it all the way. Alright, so I'm not gonna be adding any additional eyeshadows just because this look is just beautiful as it is. So let me go ahead and do an eyeliner, apply mascara off camera, and I will be right back. So this is the final look. What do you guys think? I actually ended up adding some false lashes just because this eyeshadow is so glamorous, so vibrant, that I thought lashes were just required. But honestly, I am obsessed with this eye look. I mean, that teal shade is just stunning. But let me go ahead and just gather up my thoughts in regards to this new Urban Decay Wild West eyeshadow palette. And I mean, honestly, you guys, do I love it? Yes, I do love it. It's such a beautiful palette. I mean, I do love the theme. That packaging is just so beautiful. But not only that, I mean, the actual color scheme of the palette, all of the colors are just so beautiful, and they actually worked really well, at least the shadows that I used today. I mean, you do really get a little bit of everything with this palette. You get your neutrals right there, you get pop-up colors, you get warm and also cool tone shadows. So honestly, I am obsessed with the colors that they selected. Maybe for my skin tone, I am not able to use the lightest two shades in the palette. Well, I didn't try that one, but I know it's gonna be too light for my skin color, or they just won't show up, you know what I mean? But I know that's not the case for everyone. But as far as the other shades, the other colors are stunning. They were pigmented, easy to blend. There was a lot of color payoff, no fallout, and honestly, I'm really impressed. I guess when it comes to a really high-end brand like Urban Decay, you don't expect anything less. Now, for somebody that loves makeup in general, so I do have most of these colors on my collection, but it is nice to have them all in one palette. So if you're somebody that maybe you don't have those teal colors, you don't have those warm or cool tone shades, you know what I mean? So then it's nice to have them all in this palette. So you do get quite a lot of options in this palette. So it's not just warm, it's not just cool tone. But again, I do have similar shades in my collection. So somebody like me, I can live without this palette, but if you do want all of those colors or you don't have similar shades in your collection, then definitely do get it. But that is everything for today's video. I hope that you guys found it helpful. My purpose with creating these reviews and first impressions is just so that it is helpful for you guys in case you are thinking about getting this palette, or just if you already have it, to get ideas on what kind of looks you can create using this palette. But that is everything for today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.